All right. So, Nick, $10,000 in sales with your Amazon FBA business. First of all, congratulations on that milestone. That's a pretty big milestone to hit. You'll be putting in a ton of work into the business. You've been applying everything that we've been teaching you. It's awesome to see that you've hit this milestone. So really impressive. Congratulations to you. Um, let's start off by like sort of getting an understanding for your situation before, joining Elevate Network. Like where were you at, in life and what kind of like brought you to Elevate Network?
Yeah. Thanks, Jesse. Great question. There's, I guess, a range of factors to what brought me to Elevate Network. Obviously, I was looking for a way to, make income online. I think, the whole movement probably since the last, I'd say 5 years, maybe 3 years, has been a lot about, making income online, sort of, ditching the rat race, the 9 to 5. And I think a lot of people have bought into that movement, and I was certainly one of those people. And look, I think Elevate Network was a massive sort of pillar and pathway into finding that through Amazon, with your expertise and your knowledge and your experience in this area, and having that trustworthy relationship with you now, and be able to bounce off ideas from your in Elevate Network. I think that was a really important thing for me to not only join but also continue my journey here. So it's only onwards and upwards.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Mm.
Awesome. And like in terms of your expectations, when you joined, like what were you kind of hoping to get like out of the experience when you first joined?
Yeah, I think my main thing was to kind of change my mindset around money and business and investing. A lot of people have a sort of different mindset when it comes to business, and some people don't have the risk threshold to start a business. But I think my main thing was to sort of implement that new train my mind and implement new things to make me look at things differently. So um, you know I was probably expecting, yeah, that's change around, and with your sort of guidance, I've been able to change that mindset and continue in this pathway.
Yeah, great, man. And it's been awesome to see you grow, since you started in Amazon. And yeah, just how you evolve into what you're doing at the moment, with your business. It's been awesome to see. Can you give us a bit more of a deeper insight into some of the results and wins that you've seen, since joining the program and starting your very own FBA business?
Yeah, so hit 10,000 in sales, which is really big milestone for myself, especially at the start. We had a few teething issues, a few things that obviously most things kind of happen at the start of any business, and most people probably quit at that point, or probably take the foot off the pedal. So being able to bounce off you again, persevere, and get to that $10,000 milestone was really big. Had some really big days, $500 days, $400 days, consistent days of 200 plus. So yeah, those milestones just help you push along further and keep you motivated to keep continuing and only get better.
Yeah, awesome, man. Awesome to hear. And I think as well, like, some of the smaller steps, like you mentioned, in terms of, hitting those $400 days, those $500 days, that's what kind of like keeps you going in a way, right? Like, I think, especially when I first started, and, I made my first sale on Amazon, like it was almost like a surreal experience. It's like, wow, like this, you really can sell online. You can really make money from this as well. So, yeah, it's great that you sort of like highlighted the smaller wins as well, which is awesome. And like, what also just like doing a deeper dive into that as well. Like, which specific parts of Elevate, whether it was like, the strategies that we talked about, some of the relationships that we were able to build with you, in terms of either mentorship, whether that was working alongside other students, whether that was working with the prep center even as well, or other Amazon associates as well, perhaps
I
even some
think
like different like mind shift tests as well, right? Like what was like the biggest difference for you? What made the biggest difference?
I think the community, the building community, was a really big thing. Elevate Network does have a very tight, knit community. Everyone's in it together. Everyone's sort of on a similar journey, or the same journey, you could say. So having that community, at your kind of doorstep is really important, because as soon as you have some sort of question or query, or maybe a slight concern, you always got someone to help you out, and everyone's there to support each other. So I think having that all-in approach together with that community that's really, made me, really help myself, whenever I hit a roadblock, an obstacle. And not only that, obviously, your prompt timing with your responses and your willingness to help and being open and giving up your time to obviously, find a resolution for any sort of concerns that they have has been a big factor. And without that, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's great. And I think, one of the things with our network is that sort of support that you get from not only, the mentorship side of things, but also the community, which I think you highlighted really well there. We do the coaching calls, twice a week. And we've also got, a really great community, where we share a lot of insight, between all of us and all the members, which I think is really great, really adds to the value of the program. And like you said, you attest a lot of, your success to being able to actually communicate with all of the members in the program and being able to build and sort of rebound off that as well. So that's awesome, man. And then what would you kind of say to someone who's, considering joining Elevate Network, but they're not too sure just yet? Like, what would you say to them if someone, if they're kind of like on the fence about joining the program?
Yeah, I think the main thing is, there is a lot of sort of similar sort of places out there where can do something similar, whether it's starting online business or whatever it is. I think it's more so, you're going to have that community to back you in. So some people are, probably on the fence whether it's not going to work or not. But I think, what I can assure you is you're going to come in to having, people welcome you with, open arms. People are going to really push you to get better, really drive you and help you stay accountable. So I think, you're not going to walk into something that's, you're not going to get anything out of it. You're not going to walk into something where no one's going to help you. You're going to walk into something and, you're going to have that full support along the whole way.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, I really do appreciate you hopping on the call and being able to talk with us through talk to me through some of your successes with the on business and share some of your valuable insights. So really do appreciate that, Nick. We're obviously at 10,000 at the moment. It's not long till we're going to be at 20, 30, 40,000. Because we know how easy it is to really scale the business with Amazon. And I think that's something that's really important to know as well, is scaling from even when you're at that sort of like 10,000 mark, scaling from there to 20, 30, 40,000 is absolutely possible, and it's realistic as well. So can't wait to continue working with you and continue to build up your network, man.
100%. Really looking forward to it. And yes, can see what the future holds.
Awesome, man. All right, we'll stay in contact then. Cheers.
Thank you.